Section 24, Fault as Basis of Liability. I went to the shelf labeled Criminal Responsibility to pick the next file I would investigate. But before I could select a file, the OC Legal's secretary walked in. Then she walked up to me with a file in her hands. "Please, sir, let this be the next file you will take from the shelf." "But this file is not on the shelf," I responded, reaching out to take the file from her. "Yes, sir, that's true. It was actually brought in this morning by my colleague at Ikoyi Division, and I promised her to attend to it soon." I opened the file, which was a case they had investigated at the division. It was tagged Attempt to Procure Abortion, which was contrary to Section 145 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos State 2015. I went through the file and the IPO's report. I found that the suspect in the case was a registered pharmacist working in a well-known pharmaceutical company. She had given some drugs to a pregnant lady, fully aware that the lady was 5 months pregnant. The said drugs nearly resulted in a miscarriage. I checked the doctor's report, and it showed that the near miscarriage was due to a bad reaction to a drug she took. As it happened, the drugs that the pharmacist had administered exhibited similar effects. The question now was, why would a certified pharmacist make such a dangerous call that almost cost the life of an unborn baby and also put the mother's life in danger? When I went through the suspect's statement, I discovered that after reading the doctor's prescription, he had handed the prescription over to an intern that was attached to his pharmacy, directing her to give the drugs. The intern, in turn, mistakenly took a different drug, which was quite similar in size and color to the one recommended. The intern corroborated the pharmacist's statement and took responsibility for her action. But she was just an intern, new on the job, and could not take the fall, given she was not yet qualified. It was the pharmacist's certificate that hung on the wall, not the intern's. I called the pharmacist, who had already been suspended by their association, and asked him a couple of questions relating to the responsibilities of the intern, which did not include her giving out drugs to patients. I asked him why he shouldered a learner with such a responsibility that almost cost the life of an unborn child. He was speechless. I asked him to leave my office and then redirected the question to the intern. She confessed that the pharmacist had a female guest at the time and was not concentrating when he asked her to give the drugs to the pregnant woman. I asked if the pharmacist knew the pregnant woman, and she said no, that they never related like people who knew each other. Of course, that meant the pharmacist had no reason to procure an abortion for the woman, which also meant there was no motive on the part of the pharmacist, which overruled the fact that the pharmacist attempted to procure abortion. The IPO to the case came to my office when she learned I had called the 2 suspects. In her opinion, she suggested the intern be charged for the offense, since she was the one that attended to the pregnant woman. But I was not ready to debate the issue, since the pharmacist had pointed out that the intern was just there to learn and not to do anything with giving out prescriptions to patients. Truth be told, if the investigation actually pointed to procuring abortion, we might have viewed her as a potential suspect. But in this case, we could not establish motive or intention to abort. Section 24 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos State 2015, Fault as Basis of Liability, overrules the charge contrary to Section 145 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos State 2015. Your flirty attention to some random chick almost cost a life. Come on. The pharmacist was filled with joy and asked me how soon my report would be ready so that he would vindicate himself of the allegation and reapply to retrieve his certificate. I smiled at him because I knew his joy would be short-lived. That you have been exonerated from this charge doesn't mean you are without offense. I requested for the hospital duty schedule that shows the role of every staff, including that of the pharmacist. Officer, are you saying that I am off the hook on the charge of attempted abortion, but have another offense hanging around my neck? I smiled and responded, such is life, my friend. Such is life. He tried pleading with me to limit my investigation to the facts that had exonerated him. I said, but it's the same thing that exonerated you that tied you to the present offense. Officer, you don't have to point out the new offense, he lamented as he literally went on his knees, begging me not to disclose the new offense. But it was fair enough that the new offense carried a lighter penalty compared to the previous offense. He made me an offer, but I still turned him down. Your flirty attention to some random chick almost cost a life. Come on, you don't expect to get off that easily, do you? I filled his detention order and submitted my report, stating that the suspect be charged for negligent act causing harm, contrary to Section 252 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos State 2015. The charge of procuring abortion, contrary to Section 145 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos State 2015, was to be disregarded. With regards to Section 24 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos State 2015, this new development prompted legal to prepare a charge. The pharmacist was charged to court based on the newly established offense. The intern was allowed to go back to her work. The hospital requested for my report, which they presented in a civil suit filed by the pregnant woman's lawyer.
This work of fiction is a production of COSPEAKS, composed and written by Chidi Okoye, narrated by Ikenna Igwe, sound production by Glaze Entertainment, graphics by Illustroking Creatives, video production by Chachi World Entertainment, video editing by Stevie Beleche Triple Nolly TV, technical support by Kings Media. Thank you for viewing.